I don't know how many of you have paid attention to Elijah Wood's career. Yeah, I mean, we all know him and love him as the Hobbit, but he has had I mean, before the Hobbit, he did childhood movies. Since the Hobbit, he actually started a horror movie production company. Which isn't something you necessarily thought that they would do, or he would do. So I think first I want to talk about what he's done. I'll pop that here so people can see. And we'll go through this article a little bit just because I think it does a really good job breaking it down. You know that you talk about Elijah Wood. The first thing they think of is Frodo and Lord of the Rings. But he's been involved in the horror genre for most of his career, which it's kind of freaky. He started in a made-for-TV movie called Child in the Night, a young boy who witnessed his father's murder and had mentally blocked out the... Fuck, I forgot to turn that off. I don't see how to turn it off. All right, we'll figure out how to turn it off later. But anyway, like I was saying, don't see where that is. Anyway, so he started as a child. He witnessed his father's murder and had mentally blocked out details during a police investigation. And so it's a little more true crime, but it was a gateway to, and I don't remember who. This was one of those movies my parents wouldn't let me see as a kid. My parents would let me watch Poltergeist, but they would not let me watch The Good Son. And in that, he played opposite of Macaulay Culkin, who was really good in that psychopathic kid role. Obviously, not Child's Play. Obviously, Home Alone prepped him for that crazy killer. Idea, but yeah, he just was a really good film. And apparently they're great friends and remain so today. That's good to hear for them. Don't really care. And then he took some time off to do family films and stuff, and he came back with The Faculty. I didn't remember him in The Faculty, come to think of it, but The Faculty was actually really amusing. I don't know if any of you have seen that. Is a cute little movie where the all this faculty at a horror movie or at a high school happen to be aliens, and they're like slug aliens, and the only way to kill them is with salt. It's really very entertaining. It has some other famous people in it. I can't remember who off the top of my head. Well, not famous people, but some of those actors that became bigger, and you look back and you're like, oh, they were in that. And then yes, I saw someone mention that he teamed up with Rodriguez for Sin City, which isn't technically a horror movie, but he did an excellent job with that serial killer character. Then there was another one I saw a little while later. It's called Maniac. I didn't realize it was a remake, but it follows a serial killer that murders young women and attaches their body parts to mannequins. And for me, that was the first horror I'd seen him in after Lord of the Rings, and to see him take that direction was really amazingly interesting to me. It's a pretty good movie, and I should actually maybe I'll review it for next week. But it's an interesting movie. It really is. But then I just recently watched this one, Rainn Wilson and Alison Pill and Cooties. It was hilarious. Ground up viral outbreak that started in freaking chicken nuggets. No, it was funny. And apparently, he also produced the film. Now, this is where I started getting a little surprised. He did A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. I haven't seen that, but Okay, I haven't actually seen Mandy either. I've heard a lot about it, and I do need to sit down and watch it. Daniel Isn't Real, and he did Color Out of Space. I have seen Color Out of Space, but I did not connect him with the production of that movie. So he's been really quite involved. And what's interesting is when you look at him and then you look back to Daniel Radcliffe, he is also getting involved in the horror drama. He has had some really interesting horror genre movies. He recently starred in his own one called Come to Daddy, which is, he plays Norval Greenwood, a man who is summoned by his estranged father. And, his father's trying to do something screwy. It's really, really interesting. But he's been doing, kind of the lesser known, really interesting, either horror comedy or actually good horror movies. It's really surprising to see where he's went. But so the reason I'm going into all this is because he is also doing a new horror movie. Let me see if everything looks okay on your end. Okay. Based on Ted Bundy. So, Ted Bundy, famous serial killer, killed his way across the U.S., basically pretending to be hurt and luring women in. Actually, did he kill? I have to double check that entire sorority at one point, I think. But so Elijah Wood's production company, Spectre Vision, is no man of God, wherein Woods plays the FBI agent who Ted Bundy confessed his serial murders to. And that's the part that I think is going to be interesting. Don't know who he's getting for Ted Bundy, but it's got to be interesting. So it's based on the true story of the strange and complicated relationship that developed between FBI agent Bill Hagmaier and an incarcerated Ted Bundy in the years leading to Bundy's execution. Cast also includes Alaska Palladino and Robert Patrick. So I mean, this is gonna be interesting. Okay, I do want to watch the trailer. Let's see here. How's this gonna do it? Let's go ahead and.
You think you're smarter than him. You think you're gonna be the one that's gonna get him to confess.
Well, I don't think I'm smarter, sir. I don't think you necessarily have to be smarter.
This is what's gonna happen. He will come down. He'll toy with you for a little while. Does your son know what you do?
He knows his daddy protects people.
He will carry mouse with you. He will make you think you are getting somewhere.
Nice recording.
I want to see it. I want to see them show Bundy.
It is February 13th, 1986.
Because there's definitely something you expect out of Bundy.
Theodore, not Ted.
Ted Bundy has 13 hours to live.
I don't know. He doesn't have the crazy eyes necessary for Bundy, I don't think.
He's ready to talk. He said he's ready to confess to everything, but I don't like talking.
Ooh, I like this guy.
There are families out there.
I don't remember his name, but I like him.
Needs to know why he killed those girls. You're some hotshot young upstart, and I'm your next big case. You're gonna be the guy who broke me. There are a lot of myths and misunderstandings about me. What are you going to tell me?
Everything.
What do you think he wants?
You and I.
And normally you say anymore, especially in movies, if you see from the producer of, and they start throwing out the movies they've done, you can almost say it's going to be a bad movie. But in this case, I can't say Elijah would,
Did you kill? Let's say 30. Let's say we
be in a movie he didn't believe in.
You're getting inside my head.
Oh, so he's Luke Kirby. Okay.
You think they should kill
I still don't know who that is. He still doesn't have the crazy eyes. Ted Bundy, so many women have said Ted Bundy is attractive, and I look at him and I just see these big crazy eyes. It's like women or men who talk about women who are crazy. And dude, they just look crazy. Ted Bundy just looks crazy to me. So that's going to be, I think, interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to that movie.